Hello, this is Greg Allison with Bring Greg's Garden and Worm Farm, coming to you on the 2nd of July, 2020. It's come to my attention that some people have postulated that China might actually try to invade the mainland of the United States. There are some people out in the alternate media that have made that claim, that in fact they claim that's the plan. Now, I could see where if China were to hit the United States with an EMP and basically neutralize our military, they might be tempted to do something like that, especially after a few months, and they considered most of the Americans would be probably fighting each other and have largely wiped each other out. It's claimed by the EMP Commission that 9 out of 10 would be gone within the course of a year, and certainly I have postulated it would be far higher than that. That in fact you would only have 1/8 of that left, for something on the order of maybe 3 million people. See my other videos on that to find out why I make that claim. All that said, I could see why they might think, hey, well, just EMP the country and back off and let the Americans take care of each other, and then we'll come in once they target us something and take it over and mop up. Well, I would submit that will not work. So if you are in the Chinese CCP and you're planning to come here and kick me, you and me, my friends, my neighbors, you better think again. And here's what I want to tell you about. And that goes for others that might have grandiose plans of doing great mayhem within or from outside this country. The United States has only been invaded 2 times. Only 2 times that we fought on our soil since the founding of the United States against a foreign military. Now, before the United States was founded, we had the War, French and Indian War, and we've had the War between the states, as we like to call it in my neck of the woods. But therein we were fighting each other, and that was the least pretty of all our engagements. It was a very, very ugly affair. Americans fighting Americans. No, you don't want to go there. So let's stay out of that if we can. All that said, so let's just get into this. Before we get into it, though, yeah, now is the time to prep. I just did the Eye of the Storm video and other videos where I'm talking about things that get really hairy here really fast, and we may be approaching the very end of the Eye of the Storm. There's talk of second wave, or maybe it's just a resumption of the first wave. There's talk of maybe other riots to come, especially pre-election. There's talk of China and America getting a war. There is all kind of war talk going on around the world. I would be more worried about that than even the internal strife around that seems to capture most people's attention right now. And that's not a pretty situation. I think we could potentially still diffuse that, and that's why I ask you to reach out across the aisle to put on your rose-colored glasses and try to help diffuse the situation and bring peace to our nation here. And we need to be unified so that we can face enemies from abroad should we have to do that. We don't want to waste all our ammo on each other. Well, we might need it on somebody from outside. Let's hope neither comes the case. And dissuade those abroad who might get grand plans to come here, be they Russian, Chinese, or whoever. Let me explain something. Oh yeah, before I get into this explanation, I'll say this. Now is the time to prep. So check out prepwithgreg.com. 4 weeks, long-term food storage, $100 off. Can't beat it. Great deal. You can get a whole year's supplies for like under $3 a day from My Patriot Supply. All kind of prepping supplies. Just click on, just go to prepwithgreg.com and then click on the My Patriot Supply logo in the upper or the left-hand corner of the screen, wherever it is. Click around the screen and you can get into the My Patriot Supply website directly, and that still supports my channel. Also, right now, you need to be growing your own garden, and you need heirloom seeds so that you can plant seeds that you harvest from your own fruit and vegetables. Otherwise, you're going to be getting other plants coming up as hybrid seeds and not give you back the same thing you planted. And you can also grow in your house with supplies that you can get from True Leaf Market. So check my link below to Tree Leaf Market. That helps me out. And also go to prepwithgreg.com. Those are two of the best ways you can help me right now in my channel here. Okay, let's get in with it here. Let's talk to it. Let's hit it up. Hear the gunfire. No, those aren't fireworks. You know, here's the thing. Often in my videos, you hear gunfire in the background. Quite often. And check out my video with, I was on filtering and sanitizing your water. You actually hear machine gun fire in the background as I'm doing the video. And you notice I pay no mind to it. It's typical around here. My friends like to exercise their freedoms and their practice. And so that's what I got to tell you about. You know, twice this nation has been invaded by what was the world's, you know, military superpower at the time, the United Kingdom. And that was in Revolutionary War. And a band of ragtag soldiers led by George Washington. Now, they weren't too professional. They were mostly frontiersmen, farmers, and he pulled together and tried to train and develop a regular army out of them as best as he could. But they had nowhere near the training and breadth and depth of the United Kingdom's professional soldiers, the Hessians that they brought here. And yet, the United States defeated them. Of course, we had a little help from France at the end. But France came in once we were really already on the way to win it. They just kind of helped us cinch the dough, you might say. So, all that said, you know, we got to it with the United Kingdom once again. And this is a little story I got to tell you about. The United States got into the United Kingdom in the War of 1812. And we accused the United Kingdom of grabbing our sailors and conscripting them into their military, into their navy. And lo and behold, we had engagements with them. And after they defeated, with their Sixth Coalition War, after they defeated Napoleon in the Sixth Coalition War and sent them to exile in the island of Elba, the British forces really concentrated on America. In August of 1814, they burnt Washington, D.C. The regular army troops in the United States did not fare so well. And they weren't able to take Baltimore. But some of you may know that right after they burnt Washington, D.C., the greater creator stepped in or something. It just so happened that the British forces got almost decimated by a tornado right there in Washington, D.C. that went in right as they burnt the city. Interesting how weather sometimes plays major roles in the outcomes of conflicts. Yes. So, you know, hey, prayers might be answered, my friends. So never forget the power of prayer. All that said, some of you won't believe that, but that's fine. Get what I'm about to tell you. The Battle of New Orleans. So it came to the attention of General Jackson that the British were going to invade New Orleans. And he had almost no forces. He had just finished the Creek and Indian Wars, and he was in Mobile, Alabama. So he went to New Orleans and tried to put together a military. I'm not talking about the merits of the French and the Creek and Indian War. The Creek War was really a part of the War of 1812 because the Creeks sided with the British. And that had a lot to do with how that came out. Andrew Jackson is known for not being good to the American Indians in general, although he did adopt a Creek son. Interesting. And he actually used the Choctaw Indians against the British in the Battle of New Orleans. So he went to New Orleans and was going to be facing a superior military, well-trained military of British soldiers, 8,000 of them against. He was able to put together 5,700. Now, these weren't regular troops. What we're talking about, he had frontiersmen from Kentucky and Tennessee. He had a militia from Louisiana. He had businessmen from New Orleans, free colored men, as they were called in the time, which meant basically free blacks who weren't slaves in the Louisiana area. He had some of them on his forces. He also had pirates. Jean Lafitte or somebody, he had pirates that he taught into fighting with them in the Battle of New Orleans. There were Marines and some U.S. regular troops too. But all of that together, he was able to cobble together a motley crew force of 5,700 soldiers to face 8,000 Brits. Now you may say, yeah, okay, that's not that bad of a difference. Well, these 8,000 British soldiers had come fresh from this Sixth Coalition War that had defeated Napoleon. These are troops that had defeated Napoleon. In fact, they were commanded by Edward Pakenham. Edward Pakenham was a brother-in-law of the Duke of Ellington, who actually defeated Poland finally again in the Seventh Coalition War in the Battle of Waterloo. The first time they exiled him to Elba, and Napoleon came back and started all over again. And the next time they sent him to the South Atlantic, where he died 6 years later. Some believe he was poisoned. So that's how they tried to get rid of Napoleon, and it finally did. But these troops that came to America to fight in the Battle of New Orleans were battle-hardened, had defeated Napoleon, tough United Kingdom troops. They were the top, the best of the best. And they came up against some frontiersmen, militia, free colormen, pirates, just whoever Andrew Jackson cobbled together. Andrew Jackson's forces stomped these guys. They stomped them. They decimated them. And they won. And so if you've ever heard the Johnny Horton song, The Battle of New Orleans. Yes. In any event, the Brits had it handed to them. They were summarily, completely defeated by Andrew Jackson's forces. And interestingly enough, that battle took place just after the peace deal was signed. Word did not get around so fast in those days. The whole battle might have been averted, but it wasn't, and the British were summarily defeated. Of course, the British might have reneged on the peace deal if they had actually captured New Orleans, and Edward Pakenham had accomplished what he set out to do. So it's probably a good thing for the course of the United States that Andrew Jackson prevailed in that battle. All that said, there's a point to this. You take America, and let's say we are decimated by an EMP. Let's say our military forces are decimated, not just for the purpose of discussion. Let's say all our military is wiped out, and we wind up being only 3 million people. I'm going to take the worst case scenario. We wind up being only 3 million people. Well, my friends, those are going to be some really hard individuals. You could probably hear a little bit ago the audio of people practicing their Second Amendment out here, and you've heard it many times in my videos. We have plenty of arms in the United States. We have more than we have people. Now, the holders of them are less, like 80 million, and they're not all auto, but we have so many of them that a 3 million man army that would survive, or let's say just half of them, or let's say a third of them, say if there's only 1 million men to fight, those 1 million men could take on a 200 million man force. I guarantee you, they will be tough. They will be hard. It's said that China has their big cargo fleets. They've got access to the port of what used to be the New Orleans, Long Beach down there. It used to be one of our naval bases, and then we turned it into commercial port, and China basically took it over. So, they could pack their soldiers in ISO shipping containers and pack them up on their cargo ships. Yeah, they could send a big invasion fleet force over here. But know this, especially if you're a leader of the CCP, all those boys you would send over here to take on mine and me are boys who are the only child of so many of the families there, because you had a one-child policy. And these boys have typically been somewhat spoiled. And they're little emperors. And you're going to come over here and tell them to take on these battle-hardened, tough Americans after such a devastating time. Whoever survives it's going to be tough as nails and mad, very mad. So these little boys are going to come over here and fight us. And their mamas and daddies aren't going to be happy when their only child are being taken out. Only children will be taken out one after another. They will probably take care of your power and your power base and overthrow the CCP should that happen. Because they're just not going to stand for that. So just think about that before you send anybody over here with an invasion force. You don't want to do that. You don't want to go there. And if you do go there and ignore that, they will be mopped up. The survivors just aren't going to have it. And not only that, the survivors are going to be so mad It's, oh, you impede us, you devastated us, and now you send an invasion force after us. When they get done mopping those guys up, they're not stopping. They're coming. You know, where they come to sea by the Bering Strait, or more likely sneaking around through the North Atlantic, through Greenland, Iceland, back down into the Scandinavian countries. Oh, they're going to find their way there. They're going to be mad. I mean, really, really, really mad. Genghis Khan, we just wished he'd have had a force like that. Attila the Hun would have wished he could have had a force like that. These guys are not going to be happy. They're going to be tough, battle hardened, and nobody's going to stop them until they find the powers behind who did it. You don't want to be who did it. So therein lies the purpose of this whole video. Don't mess with us. Don't tread on me. Don't tread on the United States. Don't tread on liberty. Leave us well enough alone. Let us continue in our pursuit of freedom. Now, why don't you wake up and turn over a leaf and figure out what freedom is like there instead of tyranny? How about that? So, you know, my hope and prayer is that the people in China wake up and get rid of the jackboot on their neck and find a society that can have freedom and liberty, so they can pursue and attain their real true potential, what the people there really can become, which would really be beautiful and astounding. I'm telling you, there's beautiful people in China. I've always said every country, every culture, every religion, every race and creed has beautiful, smart people with good hearts. It's the leaderships of these places that quite often take advantage of those people and use them in pursuit of their own dreams of power. And they pit us against each other. Yeah, we have people like that here too. So it's, you know, there's no monopoly on those tendencies. But in a free and open society, we have more checks and balances against it, although we seem to be losing a lot of that of late. That's why freedom and liberty are important. That's why it's so important to have freedom of press, freedom to redress, freedom of assembly, freedom of protest. Just don't go burning everything down. So there you go. We are a resolute people here. Yeah, we may look soft to the outsider, and certainly we're not as hard as the frontiersmen of the day of Andrew Jackson. But you put that as a survival situation, and you give us some months for people to have to get through that and survive. Once they get through that, those that survive will be very, very tough. And they're going to be mad. They won't know who did it. Once they get it in their mind, somebody did it, right or wrong. Oh, Lord. You don't want to be that somebody. So don't pull a trigger. Don't start it. That's my best advice. Let's see if we can't get along in this world. Let's see if we can't find a way to move toward peace and prosperity. Anyway, again, don't tread on me. That's the lesson of this video. Yeah, I believe, I believe in reaching out. I believe in trying to have peace in every way you possibly can. But in the end, you do have to defend yourself, your family. That is your right. And I know what people will do when they're that mad. Let's hope that never happens. I ask you to work with me in hardening the power grid. Let's take away the temptations for people that might want to do these crazy things. You check out my power grid videos, especially my more recent ones. They have links below them, things you can do. Check out my video with Peter Vincent Pry. It tells you things you can do to harden the grid. That's where we need to go. That's what we need to do. We need to make sure that we stay strong here, in spite of the deep state that doesn't seem to want to do anything. Let's get the job done. Let's force them to do it. The laws have been passed. So you can tell your politician, hey, the laws are passed. Make the deep state, make the power companies, make those guys do their job and get this grid hardened. Let's all work together to make it happen. If more legislation has to be passed, funding through transportation bills and things like that, let's make it happen. It's certainly a penny compared to all the other things we spent money on. And it's also a good way to create jobs in this country, is to get people employed, getting the grid hardened, getting our system secured. making our environment better. We can do that. And I've got the concept for the homes, the habitats we live out of and make a living out of. They'll be very secure. It's in my videos on that. So also, we need, you're not going to make us a lone survivor. Not likely. We need to form together, form tribes, form groups. So we have each other's backs to get through this thing. That's all. Hal5space at AOL.com. That's the address to write. I'll put it on the screen here. And I'll have it in the link below. It's odd how I'll put the link below always, and some people have a hard time finding it. You got to click more on the channel notes. Hal5space at AOL.com. I just wrote it out. And there it is. Plain to see. Now I'm going to do some videos about liberty. Actually, my next video will probably be property rights. I've got a video to come out with about tying tomatoes up. It's really too late to do it. And there'll be more wild edible videos, lamb's quarters. I got the lettuce video. This lettuce is a painkiller. That's going to be coming out. So I got a lot of stuff coming out soon. More on these topics, more on power grid defense. I will be doing a video. I'll be doing videos on what you need to do to protect your property from an EMP. I'll be doing more videos on. I've got a General Ken Krosniak who I believe is going to be coming on the channel. He's going to be talking about what it would take to get the grid restarted, among other things. So we've got a lot of good stuff coming up. More on gardening, eating the wilds, and always, as always, I'll bring to you videos to help you keep your eyes wide open and head on a swivel. Or maybe just help you with perspective. Videos about morality, about trying to reach out peacefully. Videos to pray. And let's do that. Let's say our prayers. Let's get this country moving in the right direction. And let's pray that all these things that we're concerned about don't happen, that blow away, that the bugs get weak, and that the people that would come after us get weak in the knees. So we can all live together in peace, please. All right. So with that, check the links below. If you're not subscribed to my channel, subscribe. Bang the notification bell. Click all. And then come, you know what? And go back and check and see if you subscribe. YouTube just unsubscribed a whole bunch of people from today. It's over 20. I mean, you can see a whole block unsubscribed at once. Not 1 minute you got this number, the next minute it's down. Yeah, that's not people deciding to subscribe. People will not subscribe from time to time, especially when new video. If you hadn't put anything out new, nothing happened to you, and suddenly you just lose a block. That happens. Sometimes it's like 100. I've had, a few hundred at one time, so, or tens. That happens. So, and I've had one of my most ardent followers, Cody Proc, told me he got unsubscribed 3 times. He'd be subscribed. Had people that banged up that notification bell, had to go back and re-bang it. And some people just tell me they're not getting notifications. So check my channel. Check it. We're going to make sure you get notifications. But do subscribe, bang the notification bell, and click all. And then check back from time to time. Make sure you're getting the videos. Make sure you still subscribe. Anyway, everyone, hope everyone has a great, fun 4th of July. And I hope you take this as just kind of a bit of confidence. Note, hey, all right, so we put it out there. Don't mess with us. And, if that gets out in their mental space, then, maybe you can relax a little more. Think, they're not going to come here. If they do, they're in trouble. So that's the word. Don't tread on me. There's a reason nobody other than the greatest superpower in the world has ever tried to come here, and they didn't do so well. And back then, I'm going to tell you something. The guys that survived this EMP thing, if it should have happened to us, oh no, you don't want to mess with them. If you think our troops in the Revolutionary War and the War of 1812 were tough, just wait. These will be some tough hombres. Let's hope they don't come to that. I really do. I really hope it don't. I'm working to stop that from happening. That's why I'm out here trying to get the grid hardened. So I work on that kind of stuff. I don't want to see this. But should it come to pass, yeah, if they decide to come here, yeah, they're not going to do too well with that. Anyway, everyone, take care of yourselves. Have a happy 4th of July. Be safe. Say a prayer. Be the change you want to see. And go out and spread your love in the world. Absolutely. Just spread your love. Say something good. Do something good with somebody. Let's change this world. Let's change the dynamic. Let's all be good. Good to each other. Good to your neighbors. Reach across the aisle. and surprise somebody who didn't expect it and be good to them. Goodbye, everyone.